these are the top 3 best discontinued Omega models that you can still find. They're still readily available on the secondary market. You can find them in great condition used, or in some cases, you can find them brand new from sellers that have gotten them from authorized sources. So these are my picks. These are 3 that I would absolutely love to wear and to use and to keep, because I think at some point in the future, these 3 watches, they will be hard to come by. They will not be readily available, and it's going to be difficult to find one in the right condition at the right price. So these are my picks. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Exquisite Timepieces. Exquisite Timepieces is an authorized dealer for Omega, as well as 59 other brands, and they are located in Naples, Florida. I bought from them many times personally. I've worked with them for years. If you're shopping for a great place to buy a new or used watch, I recommend Exquisite, and a link is in the description. Now, coming in at number 3, this is a recent release. It has been discontinued. It is a limited or a numbered edition, and it is the CK859 reissue, which is a modern homage to a design that Omega debuted back in 1939. And I love how sophisticated this looks. I love how classy this watch is. I love the detail work on the dial, from the long, thermally blued hands, the grit of the silver dial. And then you flip the watch over and you see through an exhibition crystal a beautiful coaxial in-house movement that is a certified master chronometer. This is a hand wind movement with 3 days of power reserve, a silicone hairspring. This has a full balance bridge, a free sprung balance. It has all of the tech that I like to see, paired with the sophistication and beauty of a well-finished hand wind movement. So I look at this CK and I really don't see a weakness. I think this is a stunning piece. Yes, you could wear this every day, but I also think it could pull respectable duty as a dress piece, just because of its simplicity. Even though this is technically not a dress piece, this is an everyday type of piece. Now, coming in at number 2, this is a Speedmaster. It's called the Mark II. It's a reissue of the original Mark II, which was a follow-up to the venerable Moonwatch. The Mark II debuted first in 1969, and it has that retro, style, vibes, goodness. It's a bulbous cushion case with a radial sunray finish on the top of this rather ovular, chunky case. And then inside there is a tachymeter that's set below the sapphire crystal. And on this version, this modern reissue, it's fully loomed, which I love. I also like the gray dial, the step dial, paired with the bright orange accenting. I like the column wheel coaxial movement within the case. And I love this bracelet with a quick adjust milled clasp to give you some good travel as you wear this chunky sports piece. I look at Omega and I think, how do you follow up a Speedmaster? How do you improve upon that design? There's an argument to be made that they did so with the Mark II, and this modern reissue is just a celebration of that. And it's a Speedmaster that you don't find very often. Most collectors go with the original Moonwatch. Some go with the Sapphire Sandwich. Some go with the limited edition of some sorts. But I think the Mark II is totally underrated, and I really love it. Now, coming in at number 1, this is the Omega Seamaster Professional Electric Blue. Now, this one's fun. It's the most affordable out of the 3 that I've mentioned. They sell anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 right now, depending on the condition, depending on the service history, depending on if it has a bracelet and which bracelet it has. But this is a special piece because it's thin, but it has powerful presence. Inside the case is the Cal 1120 if you opt for the automatic variation. It's a chronometer certified ETA 2892 that is set within an iron shield, a Faraday cage that directs magnetic flux or magnetism around the movement. So it's very anti-magnetic. It's still thin. It still has 300 meters of water resistance. And most watch fans don't know that it has a Faraday shield within the case with these lovely lyre lugs. And then you get to the dial. The dial is, I mean, it's one of the greatest dials that Omega has ever done when it comes to how dynamic it is and the light play. You have every hue from purple to navy to blue to electric blue when the light hits it just right. And then that's broken up by the small wave pattern that goes across the dial. So it just looks so good. Not only that, but you have copious amounts of lume. So even with a 15-year-old watch, a 20-year-old watch, it still has awesome lume in low light conditions. And it has the sword hands, which I know a lot of watch collectors greatly prefer to the skeletonized hands that are normally found on a Seamaster Professional. So I look at this watch, I look how thin it is, I look how dynamic it is, how accurate it is, how easy to have it serviced it can be. And I just think that it's the best buy and one that I need before it becomes too difficult to source, before you find murdered out, refinished versions that have not been lovingly cared for by an expert craftsman. So I think that's the challenge at finding one of these days is you want an unmolested example. Now, the bezel is stainless steel. It's polished. It will show wear marks. There is no way around that. Yes, it does add some light play, but I think that's the challenge is finding a decent example that has not been overly polished. I don't want an example that's been polished at all. Give me a few scratches on the bezel. I don't care. I want it as close to original condition as possible, but those are my picks. The Seamaster Professional Electric Blue, the Speedmaster Mark II, and the CK859 reissue. I think these three are just an unbeatable trio of discontinued Omega products that are still all, between $2,000 and $6,000, depending on condition and completeness. And you have great variety here. You have a diver, you have a chronograph, you have a three-hander, you have a watch that could be kind of a dress piece, you have a chunky chronograph, you have a refined, powerful diver with a lot of, I guess you could say, wrist appeal, curb appeal. It has that presence. I think these three are the ones to go with. But let me know your thoughts. Tell me where you disagree with me. Tell me what you would pick if you don't agree with my picks. What are the best discontinued Omega products that are still relatively available that in 10, 20 years will be hard to find collectibles that you don't want to miss out on? Thanks for watching today. Thanks again to the sponsor of today's video, Exquisite Timepieces. I'll link their store and site in the description below, and you're welcome to name drop me. You're welcome to tell them that Bruce sent you. Like this video if you appreciated it, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would help me out a lot. Thanks.